Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Bobby, and today we have a mixed bag of Reddit stories, which I attempted to choose based on the fact that they're not as serious as some of the other ones we typically read. So, before we begin, please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, drop a like on the video, and feel free to leave your comments and opinions in the comment section below. Now let's get into it. Posted in r/am I the asshole by Too Embarrassed 7. Am I the asshole for not giving my plus size friend the queen size bed in our B&B? I, 30s female, am going on vacation with four of my friends, 30s and 40s females. We go every year and always use a randomized selection tool to help us choose who gets which bedroom. The tool assigns the order in which we can choose. I got third choice, and my plus size friend, Marie, got fifth choice. The first three of us all chose the queen size beds. The other two got twin beds and had to share a room. Yeah, it sucks, but that's why we leave it up to chance so nobody can complain. Marie asked me privately if we could switch places so she can have the queen size bed. She is plus size, but in my opinion, not so big she can't fit in a twin bed. I personally have lost over 100 pounds, and at my largest was bigger than Marie is now. I never once asked to switch beds when I was bigger. I therefore said no. She started crying and told me I was being unreasonable, and that if I, of all people, should understand. I do understand, but it's my vacation too, and I've worked hard to be in a body I'm comfortable in. I don't feel like I should give up my spot to accommodate her when she can still fit in the twin bed. Am I the asshole? Edit. We agreed ahead of time that the two people who got the twin beds would pay $75 less than the rest of us. It's just way too expensive to get a place with five rooms and five queen beds. Edit 2. She doesn't have any mobility issues or other disabilities that I'm aware of. Edit 3. It's $75 off a total of $400 for the whole trip. Edit 4. She never explicitly offered the $75 back to me, but I honestly can't imagine she didn't have that in mind when asking to switch. She's not the monster a lot of you are assuming she is. Top comment, Veronica Sawyer 8 says, so you all paid the same amount and then left it to a randomizer to choose bedrooms. Forget about the weight. If I paid the same money to sleep in a double in a shared room, while my friends paid the same for a room to themselves, I would be pissed. Regardless, not the asshole. And edit because people are way too invested in this comment. OP made an edit explaining the $75 difference after I commented here. Great. We good? My not the asshole judgment still stands. A secret narwhal says if they all agreed to an equal split and then get randomized, it's totally fair. Over several vacations, it will equal up anyhow. DJ Mixwell responds to this and says, right? And who cares what the bedroom looks like anyway? All of your time spent in there is in the dark, with your eyes shut, fully unconscious. As long as the bed isn't cartoonishly uncomfortable with springs stabbing you in the side and a pillow made of rocks, it really doesn't matter what the bed looks like. I'm a 6 foot, 175-pound guy. I slept in a twin until I moved out. It's not that small. I mean, shoot, when we get to the cottage, my friends share a twin. Aluminum cans and yarn responds to that and says, I'm a 5'9", 320-pound woman. I recently went on a cruise with my mom and sister. We had a room with two twin beds and a couch that, once you took the back pillows off, turned into a bed. I feel like the couch bed was the biggest one. My sister got the couch bed because it was the closest and easiest way to have the extension cord plugged into the opposite wall to be laid down easily on the floor to the little coffee table thing she ended up using as a nightstand for her CPAP machine. My mom and I got the two twin beds. It wasn't unfair, and I was perfectly able to fit on that teeny bed. Yeah, so this is pretty petty. I thought we'd start today off with a light one. This is the agreement. Everybody knew the agreement when they went into it, and you are getting money off for taking that smaller bed. And it is up to the person who got a sooner choice than you if they want to switch or not. She said no, and that's not a big deal. I mean, OP's not the asshole here. Posted in r/am I the asshole by particular anxious 208. Am I the asshole for skipping my friend's birthday without warning because his girlfriend calls me the typical girl best friend? Miles and I have known each other since we were two because our parents are best friends. Now, I would not say Miles is my best friend. He's a good friend and we do hang out on occasion, but see each other on all major holidays because of our parents. We are in our early 20s. The problem started because of a dumb childhood memory. When we were 8, we had a wedding play on school aftercare. I played the bride and Miles the groom. It was a play with horrible songs and uncoordinated kids. Obviously, our parents made pictures and videos of that, and we each have one picture on our family picture walls. Miles is dating Lindy. They met 3 years ago and started dating last year. Lindy does not like me. So every time we coincide, is that the right word here? Whatever. So every time we're at a celebration, she makes a comment about me being the typical girl best friend. She one time said that I secretly wanted to sleep with Miles. I have no clue where she got that impression from. Miles and I have different friend groups and schedules. Besides the monthly catch up over food, we don't really meet that much. Things got worse when Lindy saw the wedding play picture. The comments just got more. She even started DMing me on Instagram saying she knew what game I was playing. I talked to Miles once about this and he told me to give her time. So his birthday was on Saturday and I was invited. Lindy wrote me saying something along the lines that she was going to supervise me. This was their first birthday as a couple and I was not allowed to take up his time. I was honestly just fed up. I tried talking to Miles once more, but he said the same thing. So I just skipped out. When the party started, I wrote a quick sorry I can't come and told him my mother was going to bring his present. Now he is upset with me for missing his birthday. Lindy is mad that I made it all about myself. And my parents are upset I missed a quote family function. Am I the asshole? Edit. I didn't show anyone the messages because I didn't want to make more out of it than it is. I didn't want to poison anyone against Lindy, especially not if she's a new fixture in Miles's life. That would make both our lives more difficult. I hope that just talking about it might be the more adult thing. My parents are not mad at me or blowing up my phone, a la Reddit fashion. They and Miles' parents are just bummed out that this was the first birthday that I had ever missed. As to why she's jealous, I have no idea. Neither of our parents ever wanted us to get together. There were no jokes or anything about it. I think they also never even would want that. The wedding play picture is in the living rooms because they loved the picture and it was our first play. This is classic, just jealous girlfriend. I think it's ridiculous. And I think that if the Lindy girl doesn't get a grip, she's gonna end up not being Miles's girlfriend for very long because she, supervise your friend at the party. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Let's just see what the comments have to say. Kiwi Honey says, not the asshole. Miles' girlfriend is insanely insecure and jealous of you. You've tried talking to Miles about it and he won't do anything about it. You're basically getting threatening messages from her at this point. Of course, you don't want to be around her. Your parents should understand that their relationship with Miles's parents is just that, their relationship. It's not a family function, whatever they wish it to be. The onus shouldn't fall on you to maintain a friendship with Miles if it isn't working out for you under the current circumstances. I do hope you two can work things out since you've been friends for so long, but you don't have to if it doesn't work for you, and you don't need to feel guilty about it. Edit. OP refers to Miles as a friend throughout and uses quotes when she writes family function at the end of her post and said they see each other on holidays, etc., quote, because of their parents. This leads me to think that OP does not consider Miles family, nor his birthday a family function herself. She also talks about how the parents consider this a family unit. She never said that she considered them a family unit. That is the reason for my last paragraph. Context matters. I am not suggesting the family has to be related by blood. I love my family of choice. No one should be coerced to maintain any relationship that doesn't work for them. Well said, Kiwi Honey. Well said. Pekka Anonymous says, response to that comment, says OP should also show the messages to her parents and Miles and let those messages do the talking instead of trying to explain it herself. Why is it okay to take crap just because you know them? I can never understand that mentality. Good one on OP for not going to the party and giving the girlfriend a chance to insult OP even more. Hootie Owl Scissors says, I suspect Miles has been telling himself OP is just upset because Lindy is a little uncomfortable slash standoffish with her. If I were OP, I would have sent him a screenshot of every text she sent me, and I would have done it right after the first one came in. Made sure he knew he was sticking his dingling in crazy. Okay, on that note, yeah, OP's not the asshole here. You don't have to be in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable or allows you to be abused in any way, shape, or form. I think that, and I said it before, I think that if Lindy doesn't get her shit together, she's not going to be with Miles that long because who puts up with that? Let me know your thoughts on this. This one is from the Two Hot Takes subreddit, posted by Lil Midscore Drone. My fiance is upset with me over how I rejected another man during a night out. My fiance and I are both in our 30s. We've been together 4 years, getting married in a few months. I totally adore him, and I think we have a good relationship overall. We go out a lot because we both love music. We have a great community of friends we often see at shows. We were at a show last night, and I was standing with a girlfriend while my fiance was outside with a few guys. For context, I was very much a quote weird girl in high school, but from my mid 20s on, I'd say I'm pretty conventionally attractive. On an average night out to hear music, I generally get approached or hear passing comments from men 3 to 5 times. Frankly, I'm 33 and it's not something I find very fun or enjoyable anymore. When men are polite about it, I am too, and polite dudes usually take my gentle rejection well, and so that's not an issue usually. However, that was not the case last night. A guy approached my friend and pointed at me, saying something I couldn't hear. My friend shakes her head at him and says no. He, seemingly not willing to take the hint, comes over to me and says, my friend wants your autograph, and points to a guy over by the bar. I laughed because what the fuck? I said, what? And he repeated himself, my friend wants your autograph because you're very pretty. I said, no thanks, I'm good. He asks a third time. My internal polite response clock had run out. I said, okay, $60 cash or Cash App. He looked surprised and then sort of laughs and says, how about we buy you a drink? And I said, price just went up to 100. Still want it? And he shook his head and went back to his friend at the bar. My girlfriend and I had a laugh about what a totally bizarre way to hit on someone that was, and that was that. Later in the night, when we were all together again after the show, my friend told everyone the story. My fiance got really quiet and was kind of standoffish the rest of the night. When we got home, he asked why I hadn't told him about that interaction. Honestly, he's gotten a bit insecure in the past about these things, and we'd specifically agreed I'd avoid telling him about dudes hitting on me. So I reminded him of that. He was still really quiet and sulky, and eventually I asked him what was going on. He said he didn't like how I handled that. He said it sounded like I was flirting and egging the guy on with my responses. Long story short, we argued about it. We do not see eye to eye on it, and things still feel kind of tense today, but we haven't discussed it further. I understand my fiance struggles with anxiety and can get insecure and worried. I always want to do what I can to support him and remind him I love him, but I don't think I did anything wrong here. Was my response flirty or inappropriate? In my eyes, I was intentionally fucking with a guy who was being pushy and disrespectful, and I'm 100% okay with that. Edit. Okay, y'all, goodness. Just wanted to add in two things because they're being mentioned a lot. First, my fiance is a great dude. He's smart and fun and supportive in a million different ways. He's self aware and he knows he's been anxious and struggles with insecurity. He's working on it, and at the same time, I do have empathy about the discomfort of seeing your partner get hit on by a bunch. It also makes me uncomfortable, for the record. Second, and I've discussed this with my fiance, and he's expressed no issue with it, I don't now, nor have I ever used my relationship status to reject men. If I say no, that's enough of an answer, and if they don't respect that on its own without my tie to another man, that's a problem. Also, I'm clearly wearing an engagement ring. If a guy approaches me, they either didn't care to look or saw and didn't give a hoot. So this OP is asking for advice. I don't really know that this OP needs advice. I think she handled it fine. I don't think she was flirting. I think she was intentionally being a sarcastic dick to the guy because he was not taking no for an answer. Let's see what the comments say, though. Fiancé says you clearly rejected the guy several times before you got sarcastic and finally got left alone. Your fiance needs to cool his jets. The spoken divinity says men who can't comprehend why women use sarcasm and half jokes to reject someone need to spend time on the when women refuse subreddit. There are a lot of crazies out there that will take a hard rejection as a reason to seriously harm you. Storm Tomcat says, that's what I was thinking of. Of course, one guy could argue that anything that's not a clear no is egging him on and being flirty. But this guy has already shown he can't take a polite rejection. Spirited underscore remote 5939 says there are a lot of men out there who have no shame. They take the rejection as a challenge and pursue. No matter how many times the girl says no, in their mind, they're saying yes. I had a friend like this. I say, had a friend. I was always so embarrassed at the things he would do, but I will say, surprisingly, there were girls out there that did take his advances after they had said no, which is also very sad. If you're telling somebody no and then they pester you until you finally concede, that's also not consent. That's coercion. I think that OP's boyfriend probably needs, gosh damn it, I'm going to say it again, therapy. There's clearly an issue happening with his insecurity, and he has, by all accounts here, this post, he recognizes that and he understands that he has insecurity issues. I think that getting an outside perspective, an objective perspective, would help him maybe realize that his insecurity could eventually push away the person he loves. And nobody wants that. Let's just be honest. We don't want to be insecure. It's a shitty feeling, and we also don't want our insecurities to push people away from us because that's the opposite of what you want, right? I guess if I had to give advice, which I'm the last person to give advice, I have been single for like ever, but I would say try to get a little bit of therapy. At least him individually, if not both of you together. I guess this episode is all about getting therapy, I guess. But I mean, at this point, this is all I can think about. It sounds like they have a good relationship otherwise. There's just this one issue that this man needs to work on. So, OP, take it for what you will. You did great. I like your sarcasm. I dig it. As a fellow sarcastic person, I would definitely do something similar if I was the type of person who got hit on regularly. Posted an r/ am I the asshole by additional midscore quote 6601. Would I be the asshole if I refused to clear my mom's debt, leaving her and my siblings homeless? My mother got herself into an MLM scheme last year, despite my brother and I warning her against it. She quit her job because the MLM scheme people told her this was her chance to become an entrepreneur and independent. My dad is supporting her financially now and my four younger siblings. She pretty much gave up on the oils after selling them to everyone she knows. She still has a lot more left to sell, but now she wants to do something else because she doesn't feel like she's her own boss under this MLM company. She overestimated how many people want to buy her product, and now she's thousands in debt. She won't get a job, and my dad can't afford to pay it off without selling the house and his car. My brother has three kids in private school. He doesn't have much money to spare. I'm on maternity leave, and the amount she needs will wipe out my savings, and I'd have to use my husband's money as well to cover this debt, which I don't think is fair. Especially since she doesn't want to get a job after this debt is cleared because she's, quote, an entrepreneur at heart. And, quote, working for someone's company is soul crushing. She wants to open a food truck, even though they aren't popular in the town she lives in and always go out of business. My mom isn't a bad cook, but she's competing with professional chefs, and I'm sure she'll give up as soon as it gets hard. My dad says he plans to sell the house and his car and move his tenants out of the apartment he owns. My mom called me crying because she loves her neighborhood and has lived here for 35 years. She says I'm selfish and evil for not paying her debt because she'll pay me back when she expands her food truck business. She doesn't understand why I don't just use my husband's money, quote, since he won't notice it's gone. My mom has threatened to not allow me to see my younger siblings, who I'm close with, and to have me exiled by our entire family. Would I be the asshole if I refused to clear this debt, even though I could, because my mom is threatening me? This is a classic MLM story. And from what it sounds like it's one of the worst ones, which is Young Living, which is definitely a cult, in my opinion. MLMs are never the way that you will be successful ever. It's a pyramid scheme, period. Unfortunately, the people in these pyramid schemes become so desperate that they will say anything to talk people into signing up on their downline. It's not anybody else's responsibility to pay off that debt. OP is obviously not the asshole. I think that the mom is brainwashed. And I also think she's a bit of a selfish asshole. She doesn't want to work and get a real job because she's been brainwashed into thinking that she's an entrepreneur and that working for someone else's company is soul crushing. Both of those things may be true, but they're not paying the bills. Let's just see what the comments have to say. Top comment, BAMF 1701 says, not the asshole. You said you're on maternity leave. Do not wipe out your savings to bail your mother out. You need that money for your own children. Do not harm your children's future because of your mother's irresponsible actions. She's perfectly capable of getting a job on her own and dealing with the debt on her own. She just doesn't want to. And she's horrible for wanting to harm her grandchildren's future to do so. There's a saying, don't ever loan money to family that you can't afford to lose. Considering your mother's history, you can't believe her promise to pay you back, even if you had a contract signed. She is coming to you for a loan instead of a bank because she cannot repay you without legal consequences. The fact that she is resorting to emotional manipulation to get you to change your mind shows that she knows that. Basically, your mother is an adult. She needs to grow up and get herself out of this mess. BAMF, completely right. Completely right. Character underscore bowl underscore 4930 says, also, in the future, don't let people know you have money. There will always be a family member or a friend who feels entitled to the money you worked hard to save. It's sad, but there it is. And that's absolutely true. I tell that to people all the time. If you have something, don't tell other people that you have it because suddenly you will have a million best friends coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions here, and they all pretty much agree that mom is irresponsible, mom is being an asshole, mom is being manipulative by threatening to withhold OP's younger siblings from OP if OP does not pay up. That's extortion. And you should never do that to anybody, much less your own children. That's insane. Yeah. OP, not the asshole. Mom, get your shit together. Posted in r/AITAH by research III 9654. Am I the asshole for, quote, robbing my wife's affair partner, which has now led to his divorce? I, 32, have been married to my soon to be ex wife, 30, Madison, for 4 years. We're currently in counseling, but it is not going to work. About a year ago, I found out she was having an affair by coming home to their clothes in our living room and sounds coming from our bedroom. I lost it. I was getting my cricket bat out of the front closet when I stopped to think about consequences. I did not want to go to jail. Instead, I took all their clothes and left quietly. I went to a friend's house, but not before throwing all the clothes in a McDonald's garbage can. I turned off my phone and got shit faced with my buddy. His wife hosed us off in the morning. After I turned my phone back on, I had dozens of calls and texts from Madison. First, scared because she got my updated flight information, then upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was going to be coming home early. Then freaked out that the house had been broken into. Then crazy because she figured out it was me. They just got more deranged. The guy she was with is 5 inches shorter than me and about 60 pounds lighter. So if he had taken my clothes, it would be obvious. He ended up calling his friend to go get his spare keys from his house. Unfortunately for him, his wife smelled a rat and followed his friend back to my house, where she saw him leaving in oversized clothes. Long story short, she took pictures and she had evidence of his infidelity, which caused their prenup to be canceled, which cost him a lot of money. It is all one big, giant shit show. It took a couple of months, but my wife convinced me to try and forgive her. We started going to counseling and we were working our way through it until recently. In a counseling session, she said that I was wrong to steal his wallet, phone, and car keys. She said that his divorce is costing him a lot of money and that I should have dealt with it in a more mature manner and that it was my fault. I've never admitted to taking his stuff. To begin with, I was afraid he might call the cops. Then I didn't want to give her ammunition in case she wanted a divorce. Now I just don't care. I told her that her cheating was the reason her boyfriend is getting divorced and that I hope his ex takes everything. I am still not living at home. I have my own apartment and I'm filing for divorce. Now that I know how she feels, it's kind of a slap in the face that she's blaming me for his divorce. Top comment by Zern says, the fact that she tried to blame his divorce on you and not the fact that they had an affair says a lot about her. Yeah, exactly. Time Midscore Development Midscore 860 says, yeah, not the asshole. Meat of Kings responds and says, much better than a cricket bat. I love a mostly happy ending, although I don't know what you're still playing at with her. Freaky Deaky Tiki says, serious style points on the clothes swipe and the phone off. She knew he knew, but he left the air dead silent. TRVL, okay, I guess it's supposed to be travel lover. TRVLLVR responds to Freaky Deaky Tiki and says, I love it. Of course. Oh no. Oh no. He's now being held accountable for cheating. How horrible. I mean, of course it's OP's fault. Eye roll emoji. The audacity for them to cheat and then blame OP for being held accountable. Not the asshole. So, yeah, honestly, this is pretty self explanatory. He deserved it and your wife deserves to feel like shit about it. And the fact that she wants to sit there and blame you, that is insane. It is insane. Like nobody in their right mind would ever even think that way. But these days we are seeing that there are a lot of people who don't think in a normal fashion. So, not the asshole OP. Quick thinking on your feet. I'm glad you didn't beat the shit out of the guy with your cricket bat, although probably would have deserved that too. I wouldn't want to see you in jail. Not the asshole. What do you guys think? And with that, that is all the time we have for today. I am interested to hear what you guys think of these stories. Let me know your comments down below. Drop a like on this video if you did like it, and please make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And on that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.